Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video we're going to be talking about the all-new 2023 Chevy Silverado 1500. Before we get into the video though, as always, if you're going to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get right into it. So since Chevy did a massive overhaul of the Silverado for the 2022 model year, there's not nearly as many changes for the 2023 model year, but there are a few. So first off, the limited Silverado will most likely not be sold in the 2023 model year. If you guys don't know what that is, it was basically the previous version of the Silverado being stickered as a 2022 and being called a limited before they were selling the refreshed version of the Silverado. And the whole point of the limited Silverado was to basically continue to produce trucks for people while Chevy was still figuring things out with the refreshed version of the pickup truck, and then obviously ramping up production and getting that out to dealerships. Some people thought that Chevy might continue to produce the limited truck because Ram has had a massive amount of success with their Classic Edition, which is the fourth generation of Ram 1500 series truck that they have been building for, I mean, what at this point, over a decade, right? Because they basically continue to build the old body style alongside the new 5th generation Ram, the new body style, and they're still going to most likely do that for the 2023 model year. And so some people thought, oh, maybe Chevy will do the same thing. But there's a few reasons why Chevy is not going to do the same thing. So the first reason is they just want to move production over to the refreshed version of the Silverado so that everything is a little bit more streamlined. And then the next reason is there are affordable versions of the refreshed version of the Silverado. You can get a stripped down work truck version of the new Silverado 1500. Whereas if you look at the Ram 1500, you can't really get a super stripped down new body style truck. It doesn't exist. The stripped down new body, or the stripped down version of the Ram 1500 is still sold as the Classic Edition or as the old body style to make it so it's more affordable. Now Chevy obviously could have done a similar thing, but they've just decided to, again, like I said, streamline things and just sell the new body style in stripped down format at an affordable price for people that are looking for a work truck. And then if you look at the higher end packages, anyone that's going to be purchasing a higher end package with a Silverado wants the changes that happen for the 2022 model year, i.e. the digital dash, the bigger infotainment system, the nicer interior elements, and frankly, the exterior look. Some people weren't exactly sold on the looks when it first came out, but it seems like a lot of people are starting to like it. And frankly, the packages that you can get with the new Silverado, like the new ZR2, for example. And so moving on from that to powertrains, all of the powertrains are going to carry over into the 2023 model year. So the 2.7 liter 4-cylinder with the new tune on it, which is 310 horsepower and then 430 pound-feet of torque, still paired to an 8-speed automatic transmission. The 5.3 liter V8 that is paired to a 10-speed if you get 4-wheel drive. It's only paired to an 8-speed if you get 2-wheel drive. So make sure you get 4-wheel drive because the 10-speed's a lot better. 355 horsepower, 383 pound-feet of torque, and then the 6.2 V8, which is only paired to the 10-speed, 420 horsepower, 460 pound-feet of torque. And then finally, they are still going to be selling the 3-liter Duramax diesel, 277 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque, which I think is big news because if you guys have seen my video on the 2023 Colorado, then you know that Chevy completely axed the diesel from that truck. They're only offering that truck with the turbocharged 2.7 liter 4-cylinder, which is the base engine for the new Silverado. Now, aside from that, there's not really going to be any other major changes for 2023. So 2023 is just going to be a much more streamlined production year for Chevy because they're only going to be building the new refreshed Silverado throughout the entire duration of the production year. And so they're not really going to have to be like switching from one truck to another, which we kind of already talked about earlier in the video. There is potential for some new color options. This is something that manufacturers do to kind of try to entice people to buy a new vehicle, even though there's not a lot of changes that are frankly happening for the vehicle, which is kind of funny. But I think the biggest change for 2023 is we might see some incentives on 2022s that'll still be on the lot, if there are 2022s on the lot, which Well, last time I went to a Chevy dealership, they still didn't have any inventory, so I don't think that this is a very strong thing to talk about, but we'll still talk about it anyways. But typically, when automakers go from one model year to the next and there's not any major changes, then the previous model year has some pretty decent discounts to entice people to buy those, right, and to rid the dealerships of those vehicles. But in today's market, it's not really a thing that is happening, but there is potential for that. I mean, that's what we saw with the limited version of the Silverados. It was being discounted more heavily compared to the refreshed version. And so even though the trucks were similar from an MSRP perspective, you could actually get a limited for quite a bit less. And speaking of MSRP, we do have to talk about pricing, because every single truck maker just keeps increasing their pricing over the last little bit. So you guys know with the Silverado, they basically did a couple price hikes throughout the 2022 model year production run. For example, with the ZR2, it was initially like a $65,000, $66,000 truck from an MSRP perspective with the starting MSRP, but now it's like a $70,000 truck. So yeah, pretty big price increase, right? Now the price increases are not going to be nearly as much for 2023, most likely. That's not a guarantee, but they're probably going to follow normal quarterly price increases. So I would expect the truck with most packages to increase anywhere from $250 on the low side to $1,000 on the higher side of things. Again, every single quarter. So potentially by the end of the year, the truck will be $4,000 more expensive than what it is today, which, yes, that is a pretty big price increase. But again, that's probably going to be reserved for the higher end packages like the ZR2, for example, or like a High Country as well. And yeah, other than that, that is everything for the 2023 model year Silverado. I want you guys to let me know what you think about the refresh version of the Silverado, if you're thinking about buying it or if you're going to continue to wait and see what Chevy does. And obviously, since this is the second year of production, then this gives Chevy some time to work out some of the kinks that they have with the initial truck. But again, there wasn't a whole lot that Chevy didn't already know about, because this is basically the same truck that they've been selling since 2019. And so any of the issues they already know about, and they know the potential fixes for those issues. But I want you guys to let me know if you want me to do a few other Chevy videos in the near future. So one video on the HD trucks in terms of the redesign that's going to be happening with those, if you want me to make a video dedicated to that. And then also the Silverado EV. Now, I obviously did like a walk-around video on my main channel with the Silverado EV at the Chicago Auto Show, but I could kind of dive a little bit deeper into the truck now that we have a little bit more information from Chevy in terms of the release date and some information that I've dug out from some certain sources on the truck. So let me know if you guys would want to see that video. And with that being said, if you're stopping for the first time, please subscribe, and I'll see all of you in the next video.